Hi, this is Dave with DRH Acrylic Creations. Today we're doing a piece I call Red Demon. Pillow paint is PPG Multi-Pro. Again, I get this at Home Depot. I've spread the paint out already, save that time. And I'm going to introduce my colors one by one here. The color layer I'm going to put down is my composition lines. And it's made up of Oxide Black by Amsterdam, Payne's Gray by Amsterdam, and Payne's Gray again with a blue hue by Liquitex. And what these lines do is they give me a guideline to work with the flow of the piece and try to keep myself in a skeletal work to get myself to work with. Okay, I believe this is the Liquitex, the blue hue. It all looks black here, but it does make a difference because the blue hue is definitely, it's a very, very dark, almost black blue. Next coming up is on the back of my swiping tool, I'm going to put down Scarlet Red, Payne's Gray, blue shade, Iridescent Gold Deep, and Lamp Black by Amsterdam. The last two were my cell activators, and they're mixed with 3 parts Australian floetrol. That's how the cells are formed. Repeating the process on the other side. Did you miss something? Not a problem. All the paints and products I use today are listed in the description below. And I'm going to come back through and put a few more swipes in here to fill up the space that wasn't covered. I'm finding this Amsterdam Iridescent Gold Deep works extremely well for a cell activator. It's nice to have something metallic that'll actually stand up. If you're interested in learning how I do mix my paints, how I mix my pouring mediums, how I mix my cell activators, I have a 101 series that you can check out, and it'll explain all of that to you. It's in the link that was just above. That lamp block cell activator is a go-to. It's a guaranteed cell maker. So, and it's important when you choose the paint you're going to use for your cell activator. It has to be, generally speaking, has to be opaque. It needs to be of a fine enough quality that it can stand up to the thinning that you get when you add it to floetrol. I've tried all sorts of paints as my cell activators, and this is just what I've found that works for me. And you can see that the basic shape of what I had originally has been maintained. I can't claim that as my own. That comes from Jessica Winterstrom, and when I saw her doing the skeletal composition lines, composition as she calls it, it made total sense to me, and since I've started to use it, I find that my composition is much better than it was. So I'm still working on it. It's always a work in progress, but it's nice to find these things by learning from other artists. So check out her channel. She is a wealth of knowledge. Give it a little bit of spinning here. I've talked about this before. Spinning is what I do to, number one, open up the composition and see what's there, and also to get the paint, the excess paint, off the canvas. Eventually what you want to end up is a fairly thin layer across the entire work. So spinning is really important. Generally speaking, if you spin very fast, you can't let it go very long because a lot can happen in a very short period of time. If you spin slow, you can let it go for a while. You can watch what's going on with the composition and stop it when you see that you're getting too much of a change or you want more change. This looks like it's a fast spin, but in reality, because I've sped this part up, it is not a fast spin at all. I'm just waiting for it to do its thing. I picked up my tool, and what I'm doing is I'm scraping the drips off the bottom. What happens with the drips is if you let them stay, once you've finished with the piece, the drips will continue to go, and you'll get a huge change in your composition. I have had several times where I've walked away from a piece where it was still dripping off the sides, and loving what I had, when I came back, it was gone. The composition had been totally run off the canvas. So it's important to get those drips off. I had a lot of paint on this canvas. I had quite the cleanup afterwards. Again, that looks like it's extremely fast, but it's really a medium spin. I'd say it's about time for the flyover. The cells on this came out beautifully. I love the gold cell activator. And my composition stood up. So I'm pretty happy with this one. If you liked what you've seen today, I'd invite you to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and ring the bell for notifications of videos that I'll put out in the future. It's my goal to put out at least 2 per week, and I'm hoping you're finding them both enjoyable and useful. Thanks for being here. Bye now.